So it seems I've been a little one-sided when it comes to pets. I've done lots of different dog tutorials and nothing for cats. Whoops, sorry about that. I have had this catnip in my sewing room for months with full intentions of doing something for the cats. And you are in luck if you're a cat person, because I got an email the other day asking for cat tutorials. So I thought that is a sign from the universe that it is time. So in this tutorial, we are going to make little catnip kickers. Full disclosure, I'm very allergic to cats. So I have learned so much today about catnip and cat kickers and cat toys that I'm going to share what I have learned while we make these little kickers. Are you ready to go? Let's look at the supplies. If you are like me and you have a bunch of miscellaneous tools, you're going to be able to use a lot of them in this project. I'm going to be using my hot ruler, my quilter's clapper, this little stuffing tool. This helps to get fiberfill into the nooks and crannies and will help push it into the kickers. I'm going to be using my tube turner to help us turn this really quickly, a funnel to get the catnip into these containers. It will be a lot less messy. An iron, you're going to need rotary cutter and rulers to cut your fabric. And then while this one that I showed you originally is just a basic tube of fabric with polyfill and catnip in it, we are going to use the same fabric, but we're going to trick it out. We are not only going to have some strings hanging from the bottom for the cat to play with, but we're going to add some of this crinkle material. It's kind of like a cereal bag, which you can use as well, as long as you wash it really well. But this was like $2.68 at Target, and it looks pretty easy to pull apart. So we're gonna put a little bit of this inside this too. So not only is it gonna smell amazing to a cat and be soft and cuddly, but it's also going to have a little bit of that sound that will also be fun for them to play with. So we're gonna try that. Then of course you need some kind of a catnip. I'm gonna use some rickrack, and then I just did a little bit of gingham ribbon to hang. And I almost put nail polish on the end so that it wouldn't fray, and I thought, nope, that might be toxic if the cat starts sucking on it. So I just tied it in a knot, and I used my pinking shears to trim the edge. That will make it not fray as much as if you left it with a straight cut. So now that we have the basic supplies covered, let's get started. So in my research, you can make these any size you want, and it really depends on the size of your cat or your kitten and your personal preference, and if you play around with it, just which they prefer. So this seems to be the most common. This started with and this is the size we're gonna do, 4 inches wide by 11 inches high, and it ends up being about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches when it's full by about 10.25 because it loses a little from the thickness of it. Ours is going to be a little bit longer because we are also going to be adding the ribbon and rickrack. This one started at 8 inches wide by 10 inches long, and it is about 3.5 inches wide by 9.25 inches. So this is a pretty fat one. This would be, I think, for a bigger cat. And then this one is just a longer one. Again, for a larger cat. They like to hug them, they push them. Sometimes they'll hug them and like kick the bottom with their back feet. And this one was 5 inches by 14, and it's about 2.25 wide when it is full, and about 13.5 inches long. So you can do whatever you want. This seems to be the most common, kind of just a skinny, and anywhere from 10 to 15 inches long. Now let's also talk about the material. I am using cotton, just a cat cotton fabric, which most of my research says can be fine, but you need to know your cat. If your cat is pretty rough on things and likes to chew and claw at things, you're going to want to use something that is going to be sturdier because they might be able to get holes in this more easily and maybe destroy it pretty quickly. My sister has a dog that can tear almost any stuffed dog toy apart within a half an hour, if not sooner. And then my niece's dog just plays forever and doesn't tear it apart. So know your cat. If your cat's rougher, you could use denim, you could use more of a canvas or a duck cloth, so something that's a little bit sturdier than a cotton. But we're gonna go with cotton because those cats are so cute. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this wrong side up, and I'm going to press the top edge down 1/4 inch. which I could obviously just do. It's not that wide. I could just fold that and press. And then I'm just going to use my quilter's clapper. That helps that fold set a little bit more. It's an unfinished piece of wood. It absorbs the heat, if you haven't heard me talk about that before. So we can do that. You can also use a tool like this, which is called a hot ruler. I'm not going to press this, but I'm going to show you how it works. So it's kind of fuzzy feeling because it grips the fabric and helps hold the fabric. So what you would do is you would line it up and make sure it is straight. So I'm just making sure that this line is on this edge and we're not doing anything kind of crooked. And then you just fold the fabric down to the marking. So I'm doing it to this first line, which is a 1/4 inch, and then I would press. It's really easy either way if you're just making one. Now, if you want to make a bunch, maybe you have a lot of cat friends, you want to make them something for the holidays, or you want to sew and sell, here's what I would do. I would cut fabric that is 11 inches high and just as wide as the fabric is. So if you're using a fat quarter, it's going to be about 18 inches, or if you're using off the bolt, it's going to be about 42 inches. So I would cut 11 inches by however wide, and then I would fold down and press all the way along, and then I would cut it into these 4-inch wide strips. That's just going to save you a little bit of time. And when you're mass producing things, either for personal, gifting, or sew and sell, saving those minutes always helps. You also don't have to do this in the beginning. I find it easier to do it in the beginning so that then when we have turned it and we're going to sew it, it's already pressed perfectly. We're not having to fold that under when it is sewn together. So now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to make it right sides together. Make sure that lines up, line up this raw edge, and then I'm just going to give it a quick press to kind of hold it in place where that fold is. Now, if we weren't doing the ribbons, we would be to the point of going to the sewing machine, and we would sew down here and across here, leaving this folded edge open. But because we want to do our ribbons and things, we're going to open it up, and then here's my fold. I'm going to put my hot ruler right at my fold so you can see. This is the half we're working with. And then I'm just going to place these here. And remember that it needs to be more than a 1/4 inch from that edge because we do not want them caught in the seam allowance. But we want them lined up with this edge because we do want them sewn into this project. And I am putting 5 different things. Usually in design, you do odd numbers. You would use 3 or 5, and this is going to look really nice with 5. You could also just do 3, but I think the cat's going to like it even better with 5. Now, if you want to, you can take and baste across here to make sure they stay where they're supposed to stay, but we are going to throw caution to the wind, and we are just going to fold that over. And I'm going to put multiple clips down here because we need these all to stay where they are. You can also use pins, and then I'm just going to put a couple clips up here, and then we are going to head to the sewing machine and sew down this side and across the bottom. Because we are going to be starting sewing off the edge of our fabric, I'm going to be using a leader fabric. This is just a piece of scrap fabric that I use to get thread started so that if it ends up with a big old knot on the back, it's going to be on a scrap of fabric and not on my project. And it's a little bit quicker than pulling up the bobbin thread. I only do that when I'm starting inside my fabric and not off the end. So I just put my foot down, take a few stitches, and then I want to make sure this edge stays lined up. I'm going to lift my foot, get that put under there correctly. This is a 1/4 inch foot. And so when I have the edge of the fabric on the edge of the foot, I'm sewing with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to take a few stitches onto the project and then do a few stitches back to knot that. Don't forget that step because sometimes you will because you started on a scrap fabric, but it's really important to make sure you have knotted your thread when you're on your actual project. And now we're going to just sew with a 1/4 inch seam. Now, if you're adding any kind of thing that's going to hang down, like the ribbon and the rickrack, you want to make sure you can feel that it is not going to be caught by your needle as you sew. So I can kind of feel it here. So I just want to double check that as I move along. Now on my foot, there is a little line here, and that is how I know that I am a 1/4 inch from my needle. So I use that as a guide. When that line is at the edge of my fabric, I know it is time to leave my needle down, lift my foot, and pivot. And then you can see I'm a 1/4 inch from the edge. So now I'm going to sew all the way, and I'm going to go back and then all the way forward. I just want to do a few times over those strings so that they're not easy for the cat to pull out. And we want to clip our corners. And I do where it's folded as well. Just make sure you're a little bit down from all of your stitching. Just kind of clip that so there's not going to be a lot right in that corner. So you're going to have a nice shape to it. And then I do this top edge as well. But again, on this side of the stitching, and don't cut your stitching. So now we're going to go back to the workspace. Now I'm going to use my Dritz tube turner. This is a 1/2 inch tube turner to turn this right side out. You could, of course, just use your fingers, but this is going to save you a lot of time. And you can get a set of 3 or 4 of these for under $10. So what you do is you put the tube in there all the way down, and then you take the more pointed, it's not sharp pointed, but it's pointed compared to this end, and you gently push the fabric into the tube. This might be a little more difficult because of the ribbons, but you just gently push until it is coming out of the tube. Once that happens, I hold up here, I'm holding the stick and the fabric, and then I pull that plastic part off. Now I can gently use the tip of that wood to push out the corners. Look how cute that is with the little tassels on the bottom. So it's a little extra compared to this, a little bit more for Kitty to play with. And if you're sewing and selling, you might be able to charge a little bit more or sell more for the same price if it's a little fancier. Just a thought, if you've done that and have some experience, be sure to let us know in the comments what your experience is. Is this worth that little extra effort? I've also put together a pattern in my Etsy shop that has a group of things that you can sew or sew and sell for cats. So click the link in the video description or on this video, and it will take you to that option. Now it is time to fill our kicker. We're going to bling this up. This one has the catnip and the polyester filling. This one is going to have both of those and a little bit of that crinkle stuff. So let's grab all of that. Funnel for my catnip. And if you don't have a funnel, you can make one out of paper. I'm going to be using polyfill from Fairfield. Catnip, and now we're just going to take one of these apart. And it's just tied together here. So I'm just gonna grab my seam ripper and get into where that is tied together and just cut that so we get at the film. And then we just have to decide how much we wanna put in there. I don't know, do we do it? Let's see. I think I'm just gonna use one piece. So let's see, there's 4 pieces in each of these little balls, so 16 pieces all together. And I'm just going to use one, and I'm gonna cut it in half. And my plan is to kind of put one here and one here. We're gonna layer it, kind of like making a bean dip, right? We're gonna put a little catnip, a little stuffing, a little crinkle, catnip, stuffing, crinkle, until we fill it up. So how much catnip do you want to put in one of these things? That is totally dependent on you. I have seen some for sale where it says it is 100% catnip. I don't know that I don't know that it would be 100% of the more potent thing catnip. You might drive your cat crazy. But most people seem to do a little bit of catnip and a little bit of filling and call it good. Especially if you're sewing and selling or you're making a lot for gifts, it's going to get a bit more expensive if you completely fill it with catnip. So I've put my funnel in here, and I'm just going to take about a teaspoon, put it in there, and just kind of shake it out of the funnel. Can't say I'm a huge fan of this smell, but apparently cats love it. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the filling, get it in the top, kind of get it down as far as I can with my finger. Then I can also use this pusher tool. This is especially helpful if you're doing really intricate stuffing, like you're doing dolls or things that have a lot of little nooks and crannies that you want to get stuffed nice and tight. But it does help once you get it down there to kind of pack it. The little hook pushes against it. So how are you feeling about this? If you're a cat person, leave me a comment and let me know if you'd like to see more tutorials of things to sew and make with fabric for your cat. So now we have a little catnip and a little bit of that, and now we're going to put this which I think I'm going to put some of the stuffing with it because it's not going to fill that space by itself. I'm just winging it. This is the first time I've done this, so we're doing it together. I'm just kind of rolling it on there, pushing it down until it's meeting that other stuffing. Now, some other things I learned in my research about cats and catnip toys. Apparently, you shouldn't just leave them out for them and have them every day, because either they're going to get desensitized to it and it's going to be no big deal, they're not going to care about it, or it could also make them very aggressive, which you really don't want either of those outcomes. So according to AI in my Google search, it said you should let them play with it for maybe 10 to 15 minutes and then take it away, and only do it a few times a week. So if you're like, but these toys are so cute, I want them to use it more than that, maybe make one without catnip and make one with catnip so that they have options. They can have one, just remember which is which. Maybe use different fabric for catnip and another fabric that doesn't have it, because you can also make it just with these stuffed, or stuffed with the crinkle without the catnip scent. So many ways to go. And then it also said to store it in an airtight container because, again, it kind of has a smell to it, and you don't want to drive your cat crazy with them smelling it and not having access to their toy either, because it could make them mad and it could also desensitize them to the smell, so they won't really care about it when you actually give it to them to play with. So I don't know. As I said, I don't have cats. So if you have any experience and you think that advice that I got online is crazy, let me know. If you've experienced that, like, oh, that's why my cat doesn't care about this toy anymore, because you didn't know not to give it to him all the time. I'd love to hear what you know and think and do. Now I try and do about 3 teaspoons or 3 bits of catnip in these, and then have the other stuff in between. So I'm about here now for the filling. So we're gonna do 1 more catnip. These could be fun little stocking stuffers if you make stockings for your cats or want to give them little holiday gifts. You could make them with holiday fabric, like you could make them a Halloween one or a Christmas or Hanukkah or Easter. Maybe your cat gets an Easter basket and you could put cute little toys that you make in it. I don't know. So many ways to pamper our pets. So now we're really close. The stuffing is about 1 inch from the top. We want it to be pretty full, but we also want to be able to sew this closed. And when you sew it closed, you can either do it by hand or by machine. I'm going to do it by machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so I know there's a lot of stuffing there, but I'm going to push it a little far down so that I can clip that closed, and I'll be able to get it under the sewing machine to stitch across the top, but then I can just kind of push some of that back up to fill it up. So we are almost done, if you can believe it. Back to the sewing machine. Now I'm using my leader fabric again, and I'm just going to start off of the edge, and I just want to make sure that these folds stay together so that we're getting that nice and secure. This is where it gets a little bit tricky when you're trying to sew together something that's stuffed. It's hard to get it perfectly there. And be careful with your fingers. I'm going a few stitches, and I'm going to go back. And now I'm going to use the side of my scissors to hold that down so I don't sew my finger. So if you're making a lot of these, I would just mass produce. I would cut and sew the fabrics, then I would turn them all right side out, then I would stuff them all, and then I would just kind of daisy chain sewing all of these together one after the other. So there we have it. We have another cat kicker with the added little things to play with, and then you can hear a little bit of crinkle. So as they're batting at that or squeezing on that, they're going to hear the noise as well. This one's a little bit simpler. It doesn't make any noise, but it's got the catnip and the scent in there. And then these are just 2 other sizes. So lots of ways to go. Let me know which is your favorite and who you're going to make these for. All right, so what do you think? Are you going to be making some kickers? Are you going to make them plain like this? Or are you going to add ribbons or strings to the end? What size do you think your cat is going to like the best? Help me continue my cat toy education, and let's make some fun things together.